So I'll vamp as people find us. I know it takes a few minutes for people to find us. Welcome to Hollywood Gatekeepers. I'm Carolyn J. Carpenter, starting already laughing. Carolyn J. Carpenter here with Hollywood Gatekeepers, just doing an Ask Me Anything session. So ask me anything. So doing an Ask Me Anything session, the reason I'm doing this is because we have a new course that I'm really excited about. So see people coming in. Hey there, hi there, hi there, how are you? Nice to see you. So super happy to have you guys here, to see you here showing up. So just wanted to take a minute to get to know you a little bit, to see if you have any questions that you need answered. We have a lot of programs here at Hollywood Gatekeepers. We have, you're either watching us on the YouTube channel or in our Facebook group. So if you're not in one or the other, go ahead and check them both out. We have lots of free trainings on both of those sites. So we have them inside of our Hollywood Gatekeepers Facebook group, and I do lives in there all the time. We do different things. And then we also post content on our YouTube channel, just, everything about writing screenplays. We train people how to be expert readers for the film industry. That's what this whole thing is for. Hey there, Kamara. Good to see you. Good evening. It is evening for some folks. So I thought I would pop in today. Just as an overview, we just did this amazing boot camp. We had a great time. Those of you that were there, you showed up. It was so cool. You guys showed up like so wholeheartedly, and we did 5 days of training, and everybody was into it. It was really, really fun. And so, we just threw it up there to see if anybody would want to do it, and it had such a great response that that I learned so much about you, about the things that you need and want. And so many people had asked to either do it again, or, people that missed it, it's two things. People were really asking for it. And then also people walked away from that. It's an overview. Basically, the boot camp was an overview of being a reader. And then for you specifically, what will that mean for you? Some of you are already in our programs. Some of you are, doing the marching orders, and you're like already screen readers, you're already out there reading. So this was like specifically to look at your breaking in blueprint or your path, because it's different. There's so many ways that you can use your skills as a reader. And I haven't really talked about that. I had talked about inside of our programs, but haven't really talked about that publicly in terms of how being a reader is the foundation to so many things. So I wanted to take a minute to talk about that and kind of let people know that. So that's what the boot camp was about to take the knowledge of being a reader, like let you know all the things of what is a reader, how does it work, like all of that, let you know like what do readers look for in a screenplay, an overview of that. We obviously don't get into the big, deep detail that we do inside of our courses, but just to kind of review things. And then also we talked about AI and how I firmly believe that it's not AI that's going to take your job. It's someone who knows how to use AI that's going to take your job. So how can you either embrace AI and work with it and find ways to make it work for you? Or if you're very uncomfortable with that, double down on human connection. You don't have to do it. It's a total choice. So both are equally important. Well, I don't even know if equally, it really depends. For some reason, for some people, one thing will be really important, for others, a different one. So it's about you choosing what works right for you, which I firmly believe that's what makes you successful, is when you choose the things that are right for you, you can go all in, right? It's much easier than when you're doing something you don't want to do, right? For sure. So then the last day, we actually put together a blueprint. So we put together a blueprint, and each person kind of figured out their own path. It was really interesting. And then we brought it all together with a workshop. So it was really fun. And so many people had asked about it. So between people asking about it and then the way that people walked away from it, because quite honestly, we did this with the idea of letting people who don't know me, I'm Carolyn J. Carpenter, letting people who don't know me get to know me, letting people get to know our programs. But we had so many current students. I was so stunned by that showed up. I was like, what are you doing here? And it was like one person after another. It was like, I know this person. It was really, really fun. And then people walked away from that like, oh, okay, now I know what I want to do, or I know how I'm going to use this. And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize it would have that effect. So between those two things, it prompted us to create a little mini course out of the trainings that we did. So we basically put together a mini course. It was a 5-day boot camp. So we did 5 trainings, and there's a couple bonus trainings in there because got to throw in those bonuses, right? We had a post party, we had a pre-party. I also threw in a couple of other like trainings that I've already done that I thought would be useful. We just put in everything that we could. I'm getting so excited. I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm so excited. So we put that together as a 5-module course along with some bonuses. So I've been like telling people about it. So we've had a lot of questions come in. So I just thought I would come in. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. I'm going to go ahead and show you just what it is, so that then people that are watching the replay can also just watch the replay and find out what is this mini course of which she speaks, because that's how y'all talk. What is this mini course of which she speaks? What are you, Yoda? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen because the whole thing starts with what we're calling the Breaking In Blueprint. And what this is a document that we created to help you figure out what your specific path could be. And let me preface this a little bit in that as a reader, the path of a script takes many, many turns along the way. You write that screenplay as a writer, and then hopefully you get feedback from a reader. Get your friends and families first, and then you get feedback from a reader to take a look and see, is this script working, give you feedback. You get that script in tip-top shape. You either enter it into a contest. When you do that, who takes a look at it? A bunch of readers. Or you start looking for representation, perhaps agent, lawyer, manager. When those people get it, what do? They have their readers take a look at it. Or you might know some producers, or you might know some people that maybe already you can kind of send it to, or you might make some connections via social media or something with producers or whatever, directors, anyone that will read your screenplay. And so when writers do that, they make that connection, they give that script away. Who looks at it? Readers. Once it goes through the process and either an agent or manager or lawyer or producer or someone says, I'm in, I love this, let's do it, then they start looking for more producers, because it takes a village to make a film. Those producers also start looking for casting directors and film crew and actors and all the people that go in when you see all those credits going by. I think of this way usually. All the credits going by. All of those people had at one point, they had to say, yes, I want to do this movie. Most of those people decided to do that movie by reading the screenplay. People that work a lot, that have a lot of things on their plate, and they're out shooting all the time, they might not have time to be reading as well. So they'll have readers. So as you can see, there's like a lot of readers within this process. So for you, there's so many places where you can slip into that path of the script, whether you're reading for writers and helping them get their script ready, you're reading for producers to find that amazing project that they're looking for, you're reading for producers that are putting a crew or cast together, you're reading for casting directors, you're reading for directors, you're reading for actors. There's so many ways that it could be for you. So you might be someone who wants to help a writer of a certain demographic get their voice onto the screen, and you can double down on that. You might want to be someone who's just involved in production. You might want to take that skill and be part of the production. There's so many different jobs you can do. And the foundation of being able to read and analyze a screenplay is all of it. Every person that gets on that set, every person for sure that works in development knows how to read and analyze a screenplay. People that work on sets might not know how to analyze and do that kind of thing with the screenplay, but they know when it speaks to them. And so they know that because the screenplay has been written well and has had a reader's input on it. So I wanted to kind of get that across, because then what we did was we created this blueprint so that you could know, like, where do you fit within that and how can you create your path? That's what this whole thing is about. So this is an opportunity for people who don't know this world at all to really kind of just in 5 modules be able to go, oh, okay, I see how this fits together. It's also an opportunity, which was a happy accident, that I learned from our students that are already in the programs, that it really helped them focus in. They got more like engaged, they got more committed to their journey, they started making out their blueprint. Like it just suddenly lit a fire under people that were already in our programs. So I realized it's kind of for everyone. So I just sort of put it out to everyone saying, we have this available. If you're in our programs, you can double down and work in the programs. But this was a nice tool to kind of let people know about. So we are putting it on sale for the month of August, just, to kind of get it out there. We always do that. Whenever we start something new, we always offer it at a much discounted rate, a big discounted rate, so that, we can give it to the people who know and love us. And like, we think it will help you grow. We will help, we're really big about that. We want to make sure that we give discounts when we're starting out the gate. And then later we'll sell it at a higher price. But we wanted to let you know that it's available. And what I want to do today is walk you through the blueprint. So let me walk you through that. So let me share my screen, and I'm seeing your questions. So a lot of, so Leah, it's really up to you, and it depends on how deep you are in the course and where you're at. We're getting this question a lot. I didn't do the boot camp in in my head. It wasn't for our current students, but I was so stunned by how many of them showed up. And then even more, happily surprised at how many said what a help it was. So it's kind of up to you where you are in your journey. This whole thing is just really focused on your journey and where you are and what you want to do next. So as I go through it, you can kind of see like, oh, is this going to be something that really sparks me and it's going to help my journey within the course? I mean, I take a lot of courses myself, learning how to do online business and that kind of thing. And sometimes I'll be in a course and one of my mentors that I study offer something else and I will use it as a companion piece because I think they go well together, or it's hitting something in me and inspired me in a certain way. And I think this can be that, but that's totally up to you. Totally your choice. And then where can we find contacts, producers, directors, casting directors, all of that? So IMDb is a really good resource and social media is another really good resource. And we go really deep into that within these. It's amazing. It's only 5 modules and each module is a live training that I did. And they're each about an hour to an hour and a half. And then I went through and edited out. We did contests and games and we were being silly. And I edited out some of that to make it really like, the meat and potatoes of what you need. And so let me show you the blueprint here. Because I know how to do this. Share my screen. And then we want this. All right. So let me share that. So this is the blueprint that we use within the Breaking in Blueprint mini course. I can speak and read. I can sing while I read. Okay, so Breaking in Blueprint. This is so for you to launch your career as a reader. So we kind of start right out the gate, just, talking about, is this right for you? So that you can start to get into the mindset of what it's like to be a reader. Does this apply to you? Are these things true for you? So you can make sure that you're in the right place. We always want to make sure that anyone who does any of our programs, that you want to be there. We definitely want to make sure that that's true. And then it kind of talks about, these are the things that we're going to tackle within the Breaking in Blueprint document as well as within the mini course. And so these are the things that we tackle within it: the role of a reader, elements of a screenplay, tackling common myths that keep people stuck. We have all throughout, we talk about that all the time. I'm also a certified life coach, so I got that certification solely so that I could help people in our programs really, do well in their lives, deal with imposter syndrome, deal with productivity problems, deal with procrastination, all the things that hold us back. I really wanted some tangible tools that I could use. I have one certification already. I'm in the process right now of getting a second one because I really want as many tools as possible that I can share with you. And then future proofing, like I said, with AI, and then how to build this blueprint. And then it gives you some instructions about, what you're doing, how to like make this work for you, how to like hunker down, get this done, tell people in your life you're going to do this, get support from your friends, like what are we going to do to make this work? And again, this is from the life coach side, and also from what I've seen our students struggle with, what I struggled with when I first started, all of that, so that you can really identify the things that you particularly need to know to do the career that you want to do as a reader. And then how are you going to look for next steps to make that happen? So then we go through some industry terms, and we just, I would recommend that you just fill it out as best you can. Google is your friend. As a reader, sometimes we Google things. You might read a screenplay about a topic that you know nothing about from some other time period or something. And so sometimes you'll want to be, making sure that you understand what the writer's trying to do. So we want you to get used to that kind of research hat, so we put that on here. But there's a key at the end. So just so you know, the answer's there. But yeah, we want you to at least try to figure out, what the answers are to these. And then, what is a reader? What is the coverage? What is a log line? And how do they fit together? And then we go into you getting to know yourself, which is really, really important as a reader. Knowing what your favorite films are, knowing your kind of history of when you started watching films, when did you start? When was there a film that you really didn't like? Because that starts you to understand your critical eye. When you start to see what movies inspire you, what movies change your life, what movies you didn't like, all of these come together to where you can really start to understand why you like certain films and why, what that might mean for your path. You might start to realize, well, I really want to focus on this, voice or this demographic, or I really want to focus on this genre, which you can do. You can make this all your own. It doesn't matter. And then we go into the screenplay, right? So inside of the mini course, we have one day for each of these. So the first day is getting to know yourself, getting to know what kind of reader you might be, getting to know your critical eye, what is the day in the life of a reader, all the things about reading. And then we move, like in the blueprint, we move into the elements of a screenplay. How do you break down a screenplay? What is, what are the elements that you can go through in a screenplay? So in the blueprint, we kind of get you going with what is an inciting incident, one of the most common and important terms in a screenplay, so that you know what that is and how to get going with it. So, and then we also, because again, the certified life coach, I'm always like comparing, and this is the beautiful thing I think about this industry and about being a reader, is that as you go through and you learn to critique, and you are critiquing people and you're critiquing screenplays, and I'm just going to double check really quick that y'all can see that, right? Okay, just all of a sudden I realized sometimes I go off on a tangent and I don't have the slides up and didn't realize it. So I wanted to be sure. But yeah, so in the industry, whenever I'm teaching anything, we're always comparing movies to life and life to movies. I really, really feel that the more you get to know yourself, the more you get to know why you like certain films, the more it can open up to things in your life and make your life better as well. You'll start to see what makes you tick and what makes you angry and what, all the things, of how your life is. We really aim for you to have a very content life. And I'm not going for everything's happy and not everything is, life is beautiful and messy and sloppy and cool and awful and tragic. And there's so many things that make up life that also make up screenplays. And the more you're aware, the more you're present to what you're going through in your life, the better reader you will be, because you'll be authentic, right? The stories that you read, the advice that you will give will be coming from an authentic place if you're also aware of how your life is. When people judge screenplays and they're snarky and rude and mean, they're just taking their angsty life out on that poor writer. And that's not what we want. So we are always optimizing for you to have the best life you possibly can, so that then you can just funnel that right through that screenplay into that writer's life and making the whole thing a better process. You'll help that writer will get inspired. They'll finish their screenplay. People will be inspired to do that. The script will get on the screen. The audience will see the movie. They'll be inspired, right? It's just such a ripple effect. It's really fun. So that's why we have, it's a long-winded version of why we have inciting incident in a screenplay. And then what is an inciting incident in your life? How do those fit together? And we do this all the time. And then we go inside of the mini course, we'll dive into myths about working in the film industry. So there are many myths, and I'm just going to rattle a couple off right here. I'm giving you the answers. So there's many myths that people have. One is that it's not a real job. If you're an artist, someone has said to you probably in your life, when are you going to get a real job? Like, that's just a common thing. Artists hear all the time, like somehow, even though, a film gets made and there's like hundreds of people on the job and all of those are jobs, I don't know how it's not real, but that's a common kind of myth that people have, that it's not an actual, real job. Like, you got to, do something different. I don't know. But also that you have to know someone to break in, that you can be too old or too young. And I always throw in too tall, because that's how little the other two matter as well. That you have to go to film school. There are many different myths, and that there's no work. And we dive really deep into that one, because if you just look at all the things you are personally watching right now, all the streaming channels, all the movies that are out there, how can there be no work when there's all of this happening? And so we also dive into the writer's strike. We dive into AI. So that also tackles the idea of that there's no work. And now, while the strike is happening, we absolutely support the writer's strike. So we aren't advocating anything that would go against that. But what we are advocating is that you get prepared, so that when the strike ends, so many people are going to just want to hit the ground running, right? Like, there's going to be this big boom of work. And so we want you to be as prepared as possible for that. So, we also dive into what it takes to be a reader. Then what are the things that you need to know as a reader? And then making you think about that critical eye again. Like, what are some of the suggestions you would make to a film that you've seen recently? Like, really diving into how you look at movies. And then again, we talk about AI. We talk about the difference between double downing and learning how to use AI. And then we talk about, if you don't do that, how do you make human connection really important? As AI comes into the picture, the value of human connection will skyrocket, right? How much more, what does it mean to you when you get someone on the phone as opposed to, a bot that's handling your customer service questions, right? So how can you personally double down on that? What are things that you can do that would make it to where you have a reading career that's really double downing on that human connection? There are many, many things that you can do. And so we actually have you try ChatGPT. We talk about it in great detail inside of the mini course, and I recommend that you do that. And then we also look at, like really you starting to understand what are some of the services, what are some of the things that you can do as a reader in order to make this happen. And so as we talked about with the myth that there's not enough work, Chris Mack recently said from Netflix that we don't have enough writers to create all of the content that they want to do. So they're actively looking for scripts, and people are still looking at scripts. They just can't make any deals right now. And so contests are still happening. Readers are still reading for contests. They just can't give any prizes or anything until the writer's strike is over, because we definitely want to support that. So we talk about this in great detail inside of the mini course about all of these jobs. These are the jobs I mentioned earlier, that being a reader is a foundation to all of these things, if any of these things that look, that you want to do. And we talk about kind of what each thing is, so you get to learn all of the things, right? And then if you want to work in the film industry, or if you want to work with writers, what are some of the things that you can do with writers? There's so many things that you can do that are personal to you. If you speak a second language, if you have some knowledge of something, like we have one of our graduates who is a scientist, and she helps writers like determine if the science is accurate in their movie. It's so great, right? So then we help you start mapping it out. Like, who do you want to work with? What do you want to do? And we talk about your success path a lot inside of our programs. We talk about that a lot. So this is the boot camp, which is one of our programs. We have other programs as well, and the success path is part of all of them. So it just shows you kind of where you are here, right? Just like in the mall, you are here, and where do you need to go, and what do you need to know in order to do that? And then we have you do some self-reflection, like always, some journaling, some ways that you can get in touch with how will you get started, how, who do you want to work with? So you can really start to see what tools do you need, how will it change your life? What, we have you like future pace, meaning imagining yourself in that role. What will you be who will you be working with? Who will be there? Where will you be living? Like really starting to make it a very tangible thing. And then we have these bonus tips about how to work from home, because readers work from home. You've always worked from home. So reading, how do you do that? How do you manage your space? How do you manage the people in your life? All the things that you need to work from home. And then it's got my bio, so that you know a little bit about me. And then there's the answer key to make sure that you have the answers, but try to get them first before you do that. So, and then we also have other programs. And so this blueprint goes with our Hollywood Gatekeepers Breaking In mini course. And so we tackle each section of this blueprint within the course. And then we also have the Screen Reader System, which is a program where you really dive in, and there's 5 modules in that one as well, but they dive in really, each module is like all the things that have to do with the voice of a screenplay, all the things that have to do with the foundation of a screenplay, all the things that have to do with the characters of the screenplay, how to write coverage, which is what is kind of like a book report. That's what a reader does. We read that screenplay and then we write coverage. So it goes through in great detail how to do that. And then it also has a section that's called Getting the Gig, that shows you how to get jobs, where to get jobs, all of that. That's our signature program, is the Screen Reader System. We also have coaching. So you can get the Screen Reader System and be part of our Insider Track membership. So we have all these different ways to get involved, right? So this particular program is to either introduce you to everything, or to help you create that blueprint so that you have something that you can use as you dive into the industry. So let me check to see what questions are having. Yeah, be positive, right? Offer positive feedback for sure. So I hope that makes sense, and that it gives you an idea of kind of how it all fits together. And I know a lot of people will also be watching this on the replay, so I wanted to make sure that I kind of went through that for everyone. Hang on, there we go. And so that's basically the blueprint that you'll be using. So I'm also going to show you really quick the actual course. Let me sign in here. And so I'll show you, this is the actual Breaking In Blueprint course, so that you can kind of see behind the scenes. And I'll show you a little bit just kind of behind the scenes in our programs. I love doing these because it just gives me an opportunity for you guys to just get to know me, get to know me, and then, see what other things that we have available to you. So I'm just going to share my screen again here, and I'll let you see inside of the mini course here. Okay, we got this. Hold on one sec. Share screen. Ta-da! So it's Breaking In mini course. It's very, we try to name things pretty simply around here. So yeah, so that you can take this 5 module course. And so as you can see, it basically, we have some bonus trainings in there where you can start. There's your Breaking In blueprint that you can get, and you can start downloading it. There it is again, right? So you can download it, you can use it on yourself, and then figure out your own path. And then we basically just start right out the gate with a training video.
It depends on the producer.
2 of me. We don't want 2 of me. 1 of me is plenty. And then every day we have homework. So then we post, here's what your homework is. And then we just go through each, element of breaking down a screenplay. And so we basically have you go through each step. And then I went ahead and posted a Q&A, and then some reader pet peeve training, 6 things to make your screenplay irresistible. These are all of our trainings, no matter where you're watching this training, any training you're seeing in our Facebook group, on our YouTube channel, all of our trainings are from a reader's perspective. If you're a writer and you write screenplays, well, if you're here, you're a writer. All readers are also writers. But if you write screenplays, being able to write a screenplay from a reader's perspective is really important, right? That's who's going to read your script first, is the reader. So being able to do that is really, really important. So that's what it looks like inside of the program, so that you can kind of see that. So, so with the writers and actor strike going on, is there more of a need for writers during this time, or is the need about the same? Meaning, our studio's drowning in scripts right now, or is it all the time? It's basically all the time. It's basically all the time. There are, all of those screenplays that the producers couldn't get to because they were busy, they now can get to with the writer's strike. So there is an uptick in terms of, we're going to clear out our desks and really kind of look at all the ones that we've sort of been putting on the back burner for a while. That is happening. That's one piece of it that's happening. But really, and we go into this in great detail, it's actually kind of funny. So within the mini course, I do a whole thing on change, because we're in such a big flux of change in the world right now, but also in the industry. And so I walk through, basically it's a film history class, and I walk through all the changes the industry has been through, so that you can see all the times that everybody went, no, it's never going to work. No, it's never going. And this has happened time and time again. And we're kind of having that happen again right now. It's mostly driven by AI, which the writer's strike is a big piece of. I also dive really deep into why they're striking and who they're striking against and who those people are and what, kind of what's going on with that. So you can really get an understanding of the writer's strike, so that you can kind of see what they're looking for. And then also, how does that affect you as a reader? So it really depends. It's such a case by case scenario in terms of producers. They can't make any deals, though. No writer can get paid for any work right now. That would be, crossing the picket line. We definitely don't want to do that. So we are very much in support of those writers. They need to make a living wage. It's sort of ridiculous that they don't. So we want to make sure, and AI is changing the industry. So it's a little bit of a slippery thing to fix, right? Because we don't know. It's hard to negotiate an unknown. We don't know what's going to happen with AI. So putting some things in place, they put some copyright things in place already. So there's some things that are happening that I think are really good. And so we dive really deep into that. So that's what the course is. I just wanted to let you guys know kind of what the mini course is, because we've been getting so many questions about it. I wanted to let you know what this mini course is. I wanted to walk you through that blueprint so you can see, and you can download the blueprint and you can go through it and, take it one step at a time. And so I wanted you to see how they all fit together. And then also, if you know that you want to be a reader and you're absolutely sure of it, we do have our Screen Reader System program that really does train you how to be a reader and takes you through all of the details of analyzing a screenplay. This is about organizing your life and organizing all the elements that go into it. So they both go together for sure, but I'm just really proud of it. I think it is a really fun and really easy course to get through, and really kind of helps you focus. So I just wanted to share that with you. So let me see if I'm not seeing any other questions. Hopefully I answered them along the way, but I just wanted to pop in for a quick, perfect. I wanted it to be about half an hour. I got this. So I just wanted to be half an hour just to give you a quick update about, what that course is, what it means, what the blueprint is, all of that. So you guys are up to speed. So I hope that makes sense. As always, if you have questions and you watch this, just feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll make sure to answer any questions that you have. So again, I'm Carolyn J. Carpenter, founder of Hollywood Gatekeepers, along with Doug Shaner, and we have created this to make it so that we really can create your individual, unique path into the film industry. That's what we're all about here, is figuring out how can we make you be a reader that supports that writer. So a writer reads your coverage, you're kind of like your book report about their script, and they walk away super inspired, right? So yay, you're back, and you're so excited for the mini course to get you back on track. Yay. So thank you, Jennifer. So lovely, lovely, lovely. So good to see you guys. We're really, really, really excited about training more people to really double down. We recently, inside of our Inside a Track membership, we have guests come in. We recently had Stage 32 come in, and they talked about all the same things that we do as well. We've had Austin Film Festival come in, and they've talked about the same things too, about making sure that that writer walks away never feeling dejected, never feeling like they stink and their script is awful, but always feeling like, oh, now I know what I can do. Now I know what I can make this screenplay better. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get back to the page. That's what we want. And we want those busy producers that are so overwhelmed, that are just, I call them the clowns of the circus. They're juggling plates and they're spinning plates. They're juggling everything. They're doing so much. They're so busy. And to be able to have a reader that reads those screenplays, that they can go, what is this one about? And which one should I do next? And they have someone they can rely on. Really, really important. And we can be both of those things. So we can really be a champion for that writer. We can really be that support system for a producer. And so it's up to you to decide. You can do both for sure. They go hand in hand, but maybe one or the other speaks to you more, or maybe there's something about the whole thing that speaks to you. I don't know. That's the beautiful thing. You can figure out what it is. You make your own. It's time free. You make your own time. You make your own schedule. Like, you determine what your life is in this career. And so that makes it really, really fun. So lovely to see you guys. Love you to meet. So no, until the end of August. Did I say October? No, the end of August. So it'll be just this month. It'll be on sale for the month of August, and we'll still have it, but it's just on sale right now. So take a look. We'll put the link below. You can go to it at hollywoodgatekeepers.com /mini course. Like I said, we don't get really fancy with our names. So I should put that up. Let me just put that up really quick. So yeah, you can, that's not it. Hold on, sorry about that. So yeah, you can go to it, hollywoodgatekeepers.com /mini course. Can I type and talk at the same time? Mini course. Banner. Look at that. Ta-da! I'm actually kind of proud that I was able to do that. Okay, so there you have it, hollywoodgatekeepers.com /mini course. You can click on that. Don't worry, it doesn't charge you anything. You can click on it. You can check it out. There's a whole page there where you can kind of look and see all the details behind it. So we'd love to have you join us in that if you're up for it. And thank you again for showing up today, for asking great questions. Yeah, thank you so much. We will talk to you soon. All right. Have a beautiful, lovely afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Have a beautiful life. We'll talk to you soon.